The young and the restless spoilers. From the moment Traci Abbott stood before her friends and family in Genoa City, the air seemed charged with an unspoken tension. Whispers circulated that she would soon leave town for good, a departure that, under any other circumstances, might have been bittersweet or even triumphant. But this was Genoa City, where even the most routine farewells can be tinged with betrayal and danger. Deep down, everyone felt that this particular goodbye would reverberate far beyond a simple change of address. Across town, in the aging Genoa City penitentiary where the gray concrete walls bore the graffiti scars of former inmates, Martin Wilder stared at the cold steel bars that he had come to disdain. Sentenced for attempted murder, he often smirked at how easy it was to slip through the cracks of this so-called maximum security fortress. Genoa's prison guards were notoriously lax. Every inmate knew people like Ian Ward and Jordan Summers, who had walked out of here multiple times, sometimes to wreak havoc one last time before being hauled back in. Martin had every intention of following in their footsteps. He was meticulously studying shift changes, guard rotations, and the weak points in the prison's perimeter fencing. Even as the town rallied to throw Traci a small, intimate farewell party at the Abbott mansion, they convinced themselves they were safe. After all, Martin was locked away, and no one believed he, or any other enemy, posed an immediate threat. The guest list was carefully chosen: Jack Abbott, Traci's devoted brother; Ashley, her closest friend; Sharon, whose own experiences had honed her instincts; and a handful of other confidants and family members. A simple array of hors d'oeuvres and champagne greeted them in the sunlit conservatory, where orchids spilled over marble columns and a soft breeze drifted through open windows. Laughter bubbled up as memories were shared, reminiscing over high school mischief, career triumphs, romances won and lost. For one luminous afternoon, Genoa City felt like a safe haven. But safety is a fragile illusion. Unbeknownst to the gathering, Martin had already slipped out of prison. His plan had unfolded like clockwork: a bribed guard, a rope contraption hoisted over the walls under the cover of a storm, and a discarded uniform that carried him through the back gate. By dawn, he was free, and his mind raced with dark intent. Yet he knew the time wasn't right to confront Traci directly. He needed to sow panic first, to ensure her final moments in Genoa would be unforgettable. As the party reached its height, the sky outside darkened unexpectedly. Rain began to pelt the windows, the distant rumble of thunder echoing through the hallways. Inside, the mood grew more reflective. Jack rose to toast his sister, voice trembling with both pride and sorrow. To Traci, he began, glass aloft, "May your next chapter bring you the peace and happiness you've earned." They drank, confetti cannons poised behind them, ready to send shimmering ribbons cascading through the air. It was at that precise moment that the lights flickered and stuttered, plunging the conservatory into near darkness. Gasps broke out, most assumed a blown fuse or the storm's interference, until a single ear-splitting gunshot cracked through the hush. The crash of porcelain on marble, the clang of metal catering trays scattering, it was pandemonium. Sharon yelped and ducked beneath a table. Ashley screamed for help. Jack lunged forward, pushing people aside like a whirlwind. In the pale flicker of emergency lights, they saw Traci stagger, crimson blossoming on the silk of her white dress. She clutched at her abdomen, eyes wide with shock and pain, as the golden champagne glasses shattered at her feet. Through the chaos, they glimpsed a figure. Tall, cloaked in black, a featureless mask concealing every identifying line. He or she moved with preternatural calm, stepping over upended chairs and startled guests, heading toward an ornate French window. With the barrel of the gun still smoking in one hand, the masked intruder kicked the glass open and slipped through, melting into the storm's curtain of rain. Jack collapsed beside his sister, cradling her against his chest. "Traci. Stay with me, Traci." His voice cracked, the words lost amid the wails and sirens now growing louder in the distance. Beside him, Ashley knelt, pressing a trembling hand to Traci's wound in a futile attempt to staunch the bleeding. "Somebody call 911, she cried, though they all knew this was no random mugging, no botched robbery. This was meticulously planned. Outside, two uniformed officers finally burst through the front doors, but even they hesitated at the sight. Champagne splashed on the tiled floor like spilled blood, guests in varying states of shock, and Traci lying pale and still. The officers fanned out, weapons drawn, but the killer had vanished completely. Not even a footprint remained on the slick marble steps. In the aftermath, whispers spread like wildfire. Was this Martin's doing, an act of vengeance finally realized? Or had someone else seized the opportunity to strike at the heart of the Abbott family? Ian Ward had motive, but his whereabouts were unaccounted for. Jordan might have harbored a grudge, yet his prison record showed no credible escape plan. Every suspect suddenly seemed capable of murder, and every motive hidden behind a porcelain smile. As Genoa City reeled from the shock, one fact crystallized in everyone's mind: the era of complacency was over. The shadow that had loomed over Traci's departure was not merely a rumor, it was the harbinger of a darker chapter in the town's history. With the killer still at large, and the prison system's failures laid bare, no one could feel safe anymore. And so, as the rain washed over the grand Abbott estate, mingling with the tears of grief-stricken guests, a new question hung in the air: who silenced Traci Abbott, and who would be next? The answer would change everything in Genoa City. No one in Genoa City dares to claim they know for certain who pulled the trigger that ended Traci Abbott's life, yet law enforcement's announcement that Martin Wilder has escaped custody leaves little room for doubt. As the manhunt intensifies, residents whisper that Martin must have been the killer, but exactly where he is hiding, and why he would target someone like Traci, remains shrouded in question marks. Martin's whereabouts: a fugitive in plain sight within hours of the massacre at the Abbott mansion, Martin Wilder melted into the underbelly of Genoa City. Detectives believe he first holed up in an abandoned boathouse on the outskirts of town, a decrepit structure by the lake's edge that has sheltered everything from runaway teens to possums. From there, he allegedly slipped into one of the boarded-up townhomes in the derelict East End district, an area so neglected that the streetlights flicker only half the night, and police patrols are brief and infrequent. Witnesses claim to have seen a gaunt figure skulking through alleyways, wearing a black hoodie and dragging a battered duffel bag. Surveillance footage from a gas station showed him at dawn, his face obscured by a baseball cap, buying bottled water and a map of surrounding rural highways. It was there, north of Genoa City, past rolling cornfields and broken-down barns, that Martin is thought to have crossed state lines. From the early evidence, it seems Martin has learned from the mistakes of Ian Ward and Jordan Summers, both of whom boasted of high-profile breakouts only to be recaptured days later. He erased his phone records, left his car in a wooded area with the plates removed, and even set false trails, dropping old clothes and a loaded pistol near the prison's rear fence to mislead trackers. So far, the only hard clue is the duffel bag, discovered by a hiker in a deserted park several miles out of town. Inside were empty energy drink cans, a crumpled pack of cigarettes bearing Martin's prison-issue name tag, and a black ski mask like the one used at Traci's party. A grave mistake, or desperate revenge? Yet many inside the Genoa City Police Department are asking, did Martin truly believe killing Traci would somehow further his cause? Traci Abbott had never testified against him, she had no known ties to his trial or his sentencing. She was, by all accounts, innocent of any wrongdoing against him. Possible motives: mistaken identity? Some investigators wonder whether Martin confused Traci with someone else, perhaps a witness he believed had tipped off the DA's office. But those closest to the case insist the prison break, the timing of the party, and the killer's calm precision leave little room for error. The killer knew exactly whom he was aiming for. Symbolic retribution. To Martin's twisted mind, the Abbott name may represent everything he resents: wealth, power, connections, and the ability to move freely in high society, an existence forever barred to him behind prison walls. By striking at Traci Abbott, he wasn't merely killing a woman, he was delivering a message to an entire dynasty. Manipulation by a third party. Some have speculated that Martin may not be acting alone. Could someone else have coerced or paid him to eliminate Traci for motives of their own? If so, that mastermind remains hidden, carefully obscuring their tracks by using Martin as the fall guy. Whatever the truth, Martin's decision to assassinate Traci at her farewell party looks less like a carefully calculated crime and more like the reckless act of a man who feels he has nothing left to lose. In his rage and desperation, he may have misjudged both his enemy and the consequences of attacking someone so beloved. The aftermath, a city tense with fear and vengeance as the investigation widens. Genoa City itself holds its breath. Families are locking their doors earlier, security systems are being installed on every corner, and whispers of vigilante justice ripple through the neighborhood associations. At Chancellor Abbott Enterprises, Jack Abbott has cancelled all future press conferences. Instead, he meets in private with Avery, Devon, and other family members. Their discussions are hushed but urgent, securing Traci's legacy. They're reviewing her estate planning documents to ensure her charitable donations are honored and her unfinished business at the company is resolved. Protecting other family members. Ashley Abbott, still reeling from the trauma, has insisted on moving her children to a secure location. She's hired off-duty officers as bodyguards and refuses to step foot into her own home until the killer is found. Pressuring law enforcement. Jack has personally contacted the state governor and the attorney general, demanding reinforcements in the manhunt and a full audit of prison security protocols. Jack and Ashley's vow: justice or revenge. Traci was too kind, too gentle, to die like this, Ashley told reporters, her voice heavy with righteous anger. We will not rest until the person who did this is behind bars. Not for parole. Not for appeal. Forever. Jack's approach is more strategic. He's using the full weight of his corporate empire to aid the investigation. Funding a private task force. He's hired a former FBI profiler, renowned for cracking impossible cold case murders, to assist Genoa City police. Media campaign. Through controlled press releases and a dedicated hotline, the Abbotts are encouraging anyone with information to come forward, no questions asked. Underground intel. Jack has tapped into his connections around the city, the bartenders, the taxi drivers, even the street artists who have eyes everywhere, to gather rumors and sightings. Ashley, meanwhile, channels her grief into activism. She's organizing a Light for Traci candle vigil in the town square, intended not just to mourn Traci's death but to shine a spotlight on the broader problem of prison system failures and violent crime. What comes next? As Genoa City braces itself, the list of questions grows longer than the list of answers. Has Martin truly gone off the grid, or is he lurking in plain sight, watching the city scramble for clues? Is there another conspirator pulling strings from the shadows, ready to strike again? Will Jack and Ashley's multifaceted campaign yield the breakthrough the police desperately need, or will their search for justice tip into something far more dangerous? One thing is certain: when a killer targets someone as central to Genoa's social fabric as Traci Abbott, the repercussions will alter the course of every life in this town. The question now is whether Genoa City can come together to stop the darkness that Martin Wilder represents, or whether, in their desperation, they will become divided by fear, suspicion, and the thirst for retribution. In the coming days, the streets will be rife with rumors. Every darkened window could hide an escaped convict. Every masked face in a crowd will trigger panic. But amid the chaos, Jack and Ashley Abbott will not relent. Traci's name will not fade into the pages of unsolved cases. And if anyone thinks they can hide from justice, whether in a boathouse by the lake or behind an anonymous mask, they have underestimated the ferocity of a family scorned. Genoa City is on edge, and the hunt for Martin Wilder has become more than just a police operation, it is a reckoning. Whoever believes they can slip through the net is in for the shock of their life, because Jack and Ashley Abbott will not rest until the killer is unmasked, and vengeance, in whatever form it takes, is delivered. February 2nd.